Team chemistry, how players' games can complement each other. I'm Tony, welcome back to Streetball Strategies.
This ain't the place to approach me. I ain't never been on a shelf. I save that space for the trophies. I'm running to it, we get it and laugh. We catch a dub and we running it back. I'm like a boxer that's training to fight, cause I wake up and punching to get to the bag.
The reason LeBron James is the thumbnail of this video is because he was the most outstanding example that I could think of in terms of what he needs, the kind of players he needs around him in order for him to be successful. Following LeBron's career as I have, what I've noticed is when LeBron James has a combination of himself, who he's one of the best passers in the game and he's one of the best drivers of the basketball in the game, when he's surrounded by above average shooters and above average rebounders, that's the championship combination for LeBron James. When he has those kind of players around them and they're relatively healthy, especially in the playoffs, usually LeBron is going to make it at least to the NBA Finals. But last season and this season with the Los Angeles Lakers, it's so apparent that he doesn't have those kind of players around him because of how little success, how much of a struggle it has been for the Lakers the last 2 seasons. That made me think about how that can be reflected out here at the park for you and your game. What kind of players do you need around you to complement your game, and how your game can complement the other players out here at the park. To simplify things, let's break up players into 4 different categories. Let's break them up into scorers, passers, rebounders, and defenders. Me, for example, I am a passer, and you would think that because I'm a passer, because that's what's most natural to me to do out here on the court, that I would require a scorer to best complement my game. And while that is true, for me specifically in my own game and situation, rebounding is my greatest weakness. And so when I find myself in situations where, say it's 4-on-4 or 5-on-5, I try to get as many good rebounders on my team as possible. When it comes to like 3-on-3 or 2-on-2, in situations like that, the fewer players you have on the court, the more scoring sort of becomes important. The more it's important that you need to be able to score the basketball with fewer players on the court, at least in my experience. And so if it's 3-on-3 or 2-on-2, I would probably prefer a scorer on my team than a rebounder. But in 4-on-4 or 5-on-5, I definitely want to make sure to have good rebounders on my team, because that being my greatest weakness, I need rebounders to get me the ball. So in general, it makes sense that if you're a passer, you would need someone to pass to. Thus, the best players to complement a passer's game would be a scorer. In terms of scorers, there are 2 kinds of scorers usually out here at the park. You have high volume shooters, meaning they score a lot of points, but they also take a lot of shots to get those points. And then you have high efficiency scorers, so they don't take as many shots, but when they do shoot, they make the vast majority of the shots they take. High volume shooters would probably usually need and want good rebounders on their team to get all of the rebounds when they miss their shots. When it comes to high efficiency scorers, you probably would want a passer so that that passer can get you the ball in good position so you can get good easy shots. When it comes to rebounders, again, it depends on what kind of rebounder you are. So if you are the kind of rebounder that likes to get a lot of rebounds just because that's what's fun to you, that's what you enjoy getting as many rebounds as possible, if that's your game, then you probably want a high volume shooter to complement your game so that you have more rebounds to get. But if you're the kind of rebounder who you want to get rebounds so that you're near the basket when you get those rebounds, so that now you're in good close scoring position every time so that you can score more points, then you probably either want a passer or a high efficiency scorer to get you the ball down by the basket in good positions. Lastly, with defenders, defensive specialists. The great thing about defensive specialists is usually in general, defensive specialists are decent at the rest of the game, but because of their ability to either lock down certain players on the court or to get steals at a better, higher rate than most of the other players out here. Defensive specialists then can kind of gel and have chemistry and complement pretty much everyone else out here. However, because defensive specialists are usually known for the energy and effort they put into defense, they can fit very well with high volume shooters, because high volume shooters are going to be using a lot of energy on the offensive end, and they want to save that energy for their scoring opportunities. They don't want to be outputting and spending their energy on defense, defending the players around them. They would like to use you as being a defensive specialist, put you on the other team's best scorer. Now they don't have to worry about putting out all that energy into defending the other team. They can save themselves for the offensive side of the ball. So in general, those are like 4 main groups of players out here at the park, and how each can complement each other. Obviously, players are not just going to be one category out here at the park. Everybody's going to be some kind of combination of those 4 categories. However, when you do know which category you stand out in, then you can be aware of how the players around you can complement the game that you have, and also how your game can complement whatever they need. That's why I say you should always be paying attention out here no matter what you're doing. So if you're just shooting around like on one side of the court and there's people playing down on the other side of the court, whether or not you even really want or intend or plan to try to play with them, you should be at least paying some kind of attention to them, understanding what kind of players they are, just in case you end up down there playing with them. Who's a rebounder, who's a defender, who's the scorers, who's the passer. Like, you should know some kind of semblance of understanding who is who, what is what. Even if you have to guess and make assumptions and profile players, that's fine. It's better to have a guess and be wrong than to, you know, not have any information gathered at all. When you're approaching the court, like you've just arrived and there's players out here playing, and you're approaching the court and you're getting ready to call next, as you're doing that, just watch the players, profile them. You should be constantly evaluating the players around you so that you have an understanding of what is what, who is who, and how they can complement each other. And also be real with yourself. Like, maybe you want to be a scorer, but you're not quite there yet. Maybe you're still just a defensive specialist at this point. One day you want to be a scorer, but you're not there yet. Be real with yourself. You're not a scorer yet, so don't put yourself into that scoring category just yet. One day you will earn the skills and abilities to do that, to be that, but right now you're not. So consider yourself a defensive specialist until you get that scoring experience and skill and ability. Just because you start out as one category of player out here doesn't mean you have to stay that way always. You can definitely evolve, and I encourage you to do so. But while you're whatever category you are, be real with yourself about being that certain kind of player. That's team chemistry and how different players complement each other. The better understanding and awareness you have of what category you fit into and what category other players, the players around you, fit into, the more successful you're going to be able to be out here at the court. Because when you have that chemistry, it makes the game feel so much easier. It makes it feel so much more organic when you come to the court and your play styles just fit together. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you found this video helpful, if you think it's going to help you be a better player, a more cohesive teammate out here at the court, please subscribe to the channel. And also don't forget to hit that thanks button. When you hit that thanks button, not only does it highlight your comments below, but it also directly supports the channel. And for everyone that does that, know I genuinely appreciate it. As always, like, share, comment, hit that notification bell so you're notified whenever any of my videos go live. And until then, I will see you guys next week.
Me and the losers are just not relatable. Don't call my phone cause I'm still unavailable. I've been the greatest, it's still undebatable. Breaking the records and make them unbreakable. Blazing the spot, mad clean. Hate it or not, game 7, game tie, vaccine. I'm taking a shot, I'm way up, could never be under you. And I never move like a sucker do. Came out the mud and it wasn't because of you. Look at my stats, I got too many W.